Hey guys, let's take a second and much deeper look into the Euphoria updates that we will get from this Assassin's Creed collaboration. In this video today I'm gonna talk about the Marcus Euphoria and, spoiler alert a little bit, the Via Euphoria in particular, and then the Euphoria for Eternity will be my next video and she will get a separate video because there's a lot to unpack here. So let's figure out what this Marcus Euphoria is all about and what characters she should be best paired with to create this new and overhauled rank up team around her. There's very interesting stuff here. So first of all, let's take a look at what the key parts of Marcus's Euphoria updates are and what she is all about, and then go from there. Alright, the key parts for Marcus's Euphoria updates are her rank 1 and her rank 4 updates. So let's read them one more time. Her Euphoria rank 1 says that after an ally casts a high rank incantation, Marcus gains a buff every time an ally casts a high rank incantation. Marcus gains a stack of a buff called Page's Lift, and at the start of every single round, Marcus now consumes stacks of these Page's Lift buff to generate precasts incantations for her incantation number 1 and her incantation number 2. So you would want an ally right now with her that casts more high rank incantations than any other character in this game would to generate as many stacks of this Page's Lift buff as possible, as consistently and as fast as possible. And another very good thing about this is that for every certain amount of stacks of Page's Lift, you would grant yourself AP plus 1. If you have enough stacks of Page's Lift, this would be AP plus 2, and I'm pretty sure this can all stacked up all the way to AP plus 3, which would be absolutely ridiculous. So again, what is Marcus all about? She's all about her allies generating these stacks of Page's Lift for her so that she then can have them to provide AP plus 1 and AP plus 2 to her entire team and generate precast incantations of her incantation number 1 and number 2 for herself. And now let's see what character casts more high ranked incantations in this game than any other character would. And the answer is Habth. Now hear me out for a while, okay? And let's break this down really quick together. We won't be here for long. The major part that you have to take away here is that Habth creates his incantations for her every single turn, and she will use his incantations every single turn as well. And these his incantations are considered ultimates. That is really important. Please keep that in mind. Another thing is that if you remember how to play Habth, then you will know that from turn 3 and onwards, every single turn from turn 3 and onwards, she will also cast her ultimate. So every single turn she casts his incantations, like 1 or 2, and from turn 3 and onwards her ultimate joins the fray, and it will be casted every single turn from there on out as well. Okay, with that knowledge established, let's take a look and go back to Via's Euphoria update real quick. Because what Via's Euphoria update says is, yeah, of course, like she gets more healing and moxie and so on, right? The key part here is rank 3. Because the ultimates cast by plant, spirit and intelligence characters most of which are normally considered rankless, now count as high rank incantations. Habth is from the plant afflatus, and her incantations count as ultimates. And her ultimate, since she is from the plant afflatus, now, thanks to having Veer in your team, count as high rank incantations. All the incantations from Habth and her ultimate, all of those that she casts every single turn, multiple of all of those, count as high rank incantations. And that is why, and that is how Habth provides the most amount of pages lived stacks to Marcus, which Marcus is all about. That is what she wants the most, and this is what makes her incredibly strong. So we have figured out our roster, right? Alright, so what have we figured out so far? First of all, of course, yeah, Marcus is the main DPS. That is what the whole team is built around. Cool. What is the sub DPS? Who is her partner in crime, as I call it? That is Habth. Why? Because no other character in this game provides the things to Marcus that Marcus wants the most better than Habth would. And that's why she's here the best in slot for the sub DPS. Now, in order for Habth to actually provide Marcus what she needs the most, better than any other character would in this game, she needs the Euphoria update for Veer, because Veer makes that possible. As I explained, with his incantations and her ultimate are now turned into high rank incantations instead of ultimates, and that's how Habth provides the stacks to Marcus, the page lift stacks, and that's why we absolutely need Veer in his team to function. Okay, now we have a spot left. We have to sustain with Veer. We have our main and our sub DPSs figured out. Now, what would be the best in slot for the support here? What support would cater everything to the archetype that we actually play, which is rank up? And yeah, there's even a little bit more to it. So let's take a look at that character and let me explain things further. First of all, let's take another look into Marcus's Euphoria update, because there is some more interesting stuff here. What I'm talking about is that Marcus's excess critical rate is converted into critical damage, and she gains Eureka. Now, why is that interesting? Because Marcus is not a character that excels at having a huge amount of critical hit rate. So to convert excess critical hit rate to critical damage would normally not happen. That's where our support comes in, as we need a support that would, first of all, provide us with critical hit rate, so that Marcus can actually gain excess critical hit rate and convert it into critical damage, right? Okay. There's one more thing though, and that is our support also, because of Veer's Euphoria update, has to be from either the plant afflatus, the spirit afflatus, or the intelligence afflatus, so that her ultimate also counts as a high rank incantation and provides even more stacks to Marcus's main thing, which is the pages lift. She gets more stacks of pages lift if our support also would be from plant spirit or intelligence afflatus. So let's look for one of those. Who provides crit rate, who ranks up incantations, and who is from either plant spirit or intelligence afflatus. Let's check that out. And the Oscar goes to Mercuria. She is from the spirit afflatus. Check. She, as a support, has to be very, very beneficial to this rank up team. And what does her ultimate do? It grants rank up to all allies for 2 rounds. Check. we were looking for someone that increases our critical hit rate. What does Mercuria's incantation number 1 do? It grants critical hit rate plus 20% to all allies for 2 rounds. Check. Everything that we wanted is checked, and of course it goes way further. And I will not explain like everything in deep detail here, right? But let me tell you about one more thing, that Mercuria generates something called cosmic energy, and if holding 16 or more stacks of cosmic energy, which she will very fastly and always do pretty much, then you grant incantation might plus 20% to all of your allies as well. And what does Marcus do? She consumes these stacks of pages lived to generate precast incantations for her incantation number 1 and number 2. That means she will use a lot of incantations. Same for his incantation, right? And to do 20% more damage with those, among all the other things that Mercuria checks, is absolutely incredible. And now you can see how all of this perfectly synergizes and comes together in such a perfect way that I didn't expect. I'm glad I sat down and did a deep analysis and checked everything out, and that I found this, because this is like beyond perfection, and it's gonna be a very strong team. Spoiler alert. Here we have it. We already figured out that Marcus, our main DPS, needs pages lived. No other character provides as many stacks of pages lived as Habth would. In order for Habth to actually do that, we need Via. Yeah, I explained the reasons why already. Then we need crit rate, we need someone from the Spirit Afflators, and we need a support that of course supports the archetype and ranks up incantations. All of these marks, as we just talked about, are checked by Via. So this is gonna be the new and the best in slot rank up team, and this team will take at least like 6th spot in the meta, right? It's gonna be Blood Tide, Dynamo, Impromptu, follow-up team, the ultimate team, and then this rank up team. And after this rank up team comes Poison. Now this of course needs a little bit of testing, as this team is very strong in synergy already, and it is complete, while the ultimate team still for some reason lacks the healer. And this might actually be the reason why this rank up team here even outclasses or is a little bit better, let me say it like that, than the ultimate team. That I don't know, that I can't tell you for sure. What I can tell you for sure is that this team right here on your screen is gonna be better than a Poison team. And that's about it. It comes down to a battle between this team right here and the ultimate archetype, whoever takes spot number 5 in the meta game, right? That will need testing, that we will need to see in the future. And yeah, this is gonna be the team. Now let's look at the full picture, right? And talk a little bit about possible substitutes. But make no mistake, this is the perfect team. This is going to be the best in slot, and this is going to crush it. But maybe you don't have a character, yeah, like you need pretty much everything here is already perfect, but let's still just roll some substitutes out here just in case. And one of those substitutes would be An Lee. Now remember, you can only replace Mercuria from this team, no one else. You absolutely want the Habth, and for Habth to work you need Via. And Marcus is, yeah, I don't need to explain why she is irreplaceable. Entire team is about her. So keep that in mind, please. Now, why would you play An Lee instead of Mercuria? Yeah, if you don't have Mercuria, then you can use An Lee. Why? Because with her ultimate, she also ranks up incantations. Thanks to her Euphoria update, she does it a little bit better right now. And then she has some useful stuff here and there, right? She improves the damage dealt, she improves the bulk from your team, she can support a little bit with days and stuff, you know? The main thing is that she ranks up incantations though. Unfortunately, she only does that by using her ultimate, so that doesn't make her very AP friendly. You have to keep that one in mind if you play. Additionally, you would then apply a plethora of debuffs as well, so all things considered. And she's plant afflatus, that is also a very important part that I shouldn't forget to mention here. So overall, it's a solid support for this team as well, but nowhere near on the level that Mercuria would be. And another good substitute for the Mercuria slot would be Argus, because she also empowers incantations. She ranks up incantations. That is fantastic, exactly what we want from the support slot of this team, right? Such as Mercuria does, such as Anali does. That's why they are substitutes here. And not only that, but she adds good damage to your team, more damage in fact than an Anali would. But she also profits from the whole archetype, as all of the ranks of your incantations in your rotation, they are counted together, and the more total rank you have in your rotation, the better the incantation that Argus will add to this rotation will be, to say it like shortly and to keep it as simple as possible. And that's why Argus is also here. She ranks up incantations, she profits from the archetype herself, and she provides a pretty heavy amount of damage to this team. So there you go. Now we talked about really everything. Of course, if you really truly, like you are, no matter what, I'm gonna play Marcus and Via together, but I don't have Habth and I don't have Mercuria, so how do I brute force this to make this team still kind of work, you know? Then of course you can not only replace Mercuria but with like Anali or Argus, but also it would really hurt to do that, but you could in theory replace like Habth and play the team then with Argus Anali, right? It would be really bad though, I'm gonna be honest. Like, you really want at least Marcus, Habth and Via together. Like, these three are really a dream team. And the absolute perfect support for this team, as I explained, is Mercuria. She is just too good for this team to even think about replacing her, if I'm being completely honest, right? But if you want to play this team, no matter what, then yeah, you can work or find some workarounds here with Anali and Argus, even though I wouldn't recommend it. This team up here is too perfect to make any changes to it. That's like me being completely honest, right? Even though it might hurt because you don't have these characters, but you want to play Marcus or stuff. But that's just the reality of the situation. So that's all I wanted to tell you about this new rank up team that will form when the Assassin's Creed collaboration hits on August 7. So stay tuned for that. I think this team will be really fun, and it will be very good. And yeah, a good threat in the meta. Not top 3, top 4, but it will be very good. So that's it, guys. It was a pretty big surprise, I would say, to find out about this team. I did not expect that Habth would actually find her best in slot and be such a great and important part in such a good team so quickly, right? To me, all I want to say is, to me that came as a pretty big surprise. I did not expect that, right? But I'm glad I did the analysis. I sat down and figured all of this stuff out. So I hope that video was fun and informative. If you like Reverse1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, don't forget to join the Discord server. Take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.